Now on News 12, a COVID-19 alert.
You should take steps to protect yourself.
Every person who is not vaccinated is at risk.
A warning tonight from doctors as cases and hospitalizations rise.
Life expectancy just fell by a year. What's causing the largest one-year drop in decades?
Metro North riders, we have an update on a looming price hike, and it's good news for your wallet.
Being able to do it on the highest level at the Olympics is just insane.
Going for gold. Meet the teenage swimmer from Pelham competing in the Olympics. News 12 starts now.
And a COVID-19 alert right now. New numbers show coronavirus cases continue to rise across the state due to the highly contagious Delta variant.
Yeah, more than 1,400 New Yorkers tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday, and this map shows you the number of new cases in the Mid-Hudson region by county. Rounding out the top three highest, there's 56 new cases of COVID in Westchester, 39 in Orange County, 15 in Dutchess. And happening tomorrow in Dutchess, Red Hook Camp is going to be open after that outbreak that impacted not only the camp, but the town's summer school and pool program. After 8 kids and adults, several of them vaccinated, tested positive for coronavirus. Dutchess County Executive Mark Molinaro says this should be a wake-up call. Don't let your guard down.
In this case, it's a good reminder that like any other virus that can spread, you should take steps to protect yourself and the well-being of your friends and neighbors.
Well, no additional cases are being linked to the cluster believed to have spread at a party. Right now, nationwide, that Delta variant accounts for about 83% of all new COVID-19 cases.
This as hospitalization numbers slowly tick back up. Health reporter Shari Einhorn has more on what doctors say we need to watch.
I'm glad I kept my guard up.
Pierre McDougall says he's not taking any chances when it comes to COVID-19. Even now.
I'm still wearing a mask. I'm in the supermarket, I'm still wearing a mask regardless at this point.
Why is that?
Just because I'm not sure.
Positivity rates are on the rise statewide, but Northwell Health's chief medical officer says that's not the number he worries about the most.
I would say to me the most important statistic is the percentage of the population that's vaccinated. Because if you look at this carefully, you'll understand that every person who is not vaccinated is at risk.
Dr. Battinelli says hospitalization numbers are up slightly as well. Yesterday, the CDC's director said more than 97% of the people currently hospitalized for COVID aren't vaccinated.
I feel bad for those people that aren't vaccinated and get COVID. But I'm also concerned about myself as well.
So am I concerned? There certainly is enough of an unvaccinated community for disease to spread, and that's what you're seeing with a variant that spreads easily. So without question, the single most important way to put an end to this is to vaccinate as many people as possible as quickly as possible.
Dr. Eisenstein says the state is now reporting a slight increase in the number of people who've been vaccinated in the past week. He says there are several contributing factors: the number of increased cases statewide, plus the possibility that those cases could impact people's summer plans, back to school plans, and back to college plans. On the Health Beat, I'm Shari Einhorn, News 12.
Well, it's all clear skies now, but a potential threat of some rain for the weekend.
Meteorologist Brian Fitzgerald bringing us the details in your first forecast. Brian?
Yeah, that's right, guys. After some stormy weather early this afternoon, skies have cleared out across much of the lower Hudson Valley. And if you've been outside, you've noticed the temperature has dropped pretty rapidly as well. 60s and even 50s for some of us as we head into the overnight hours and the early hours of Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon's a gem. Those temperatures will make their way into the low 80s. The humidity is low and there's plenty of sunshine, but we do track some rain showers late in the weekend. I'll let you know if that has any impact on your plans, plus the rest of your extended forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Brian. Well, new tonight, police make an arrest in a deadly hit-and-run crash. It is just one of your local headlines we're tracking. A Bronx man now accused of leaving the scene of this crash in Yonkers. Investigators say 28-year-old Cesar Zapata Ramirez kept driving after he was rear-ended by a motorcycle on I-87. The motorcyclist, 30-year-old Michael Pereira of the Bronx, was killed. A New Jersey man pleads guilty to criminally negligent homicide and driving under the influence of drugs. Jared De Vera's car jumped the curb in Orangeburg. he fatally struck 53-year-old Giovanni Boiano, who was mowing his lawn. Today's guilty plea comes exactly 1 year after Boiano's family laid him to rest. An excavator rollover in Wurtsboro. The injured construction worker was airlifted to the hospital from JML Quarry on Dump Road. Workers there say the excavator operator was moving a load of stone when the machine tipped over. No word on the worker's condition tonight. A pharmacy burglarized at 4 this morning. Police say the suspects, all wearing hoodies, smashed the glass front door of Neighbor RX in Pearl River and took off with drugs. So far, there are no arrests. Well, tonight, President Joe Biden and Governor Andrew Cuomo are being asked to declare an overdose state of emergency.
The call for action from State Senator Pete Harckham and 28 Democratic senators comes as New York is set to get more than $1 billion for opioid treatment and prevention.
Karen Waugh has more on where the money is coming from.
More than 500,000 Americans have died from opioid overdoses in a decade, according to the CDC. That's why officials are trying to prevent something like this from happening ever again.
Numerous companies that manufactured and distributed this poison did so without any regard for human life.
In this national lawsuit, 4 drug companies are accused of aggressively marketing and selling highly addictive painkillers. They're now settling for $26 billion. Here in New York, we'll see $1.1 billion from 3 top drug distributors, AmerisourceBergen, Cardinal Health, and McKesson. There will also be $230 million from pharmaceutical giant Johnson & Johnson.
And no amount of money will provide any solace to these families.
But the settlement money will be funneled into communities dealing with this crisis.
These funds will go towards abatement, education, prevention, and for beds and to hospitals and facilities that desperately need it.
As part of the deal, the companies will admit to no wrongdoing, but they will be under much closer scrutiny.
There is no perfect solution. And oftentimes we have to make concessions.
Now, New York State estimates they'll receive the first payment from Johnson & Johnson in about 2 months. The rest of the money will be paid out over the course of 17 years. In Yonkers, Karen Waugh, News 12.
New tonight, COVID-19 plus overdose deaths drove down life expectancy last year. The decline in life expectancy is the largest one-year drop since World War II. That's according to the CDC.
The MTA is stepping up its mask enforcement as COVID cases go up and mask compliance goes down. So to bring compliance up, MTA officials are adding signs. They're also going to make more announcements on their intercoms reminding people to mask up.
MTPD initiated mask force blitzes at select stations during rush hours to inform customers that masks are still required. Further, we continue our mask force program with volunteers and continue to offer free masks to those needing them at all of our stations.
Well, Metro North riders that we talk to say sometimes MTA employees and security look the other way when someone is not wearing their mask. So we asked you, have you been wearing a mask when you take mass transit? Always 73%, that's pretty good. Never 15%. 8% of you say sometimes, and 3% say, you know what, I will now. So there's still time for you to weigh in. Just head to our Twitter page. We'd love to hear from you. Well, one of Westchester's hottest parties is back for the first time since the pandemic began.
And it is marking a major step in our return to normalcy. Jonathan Gordon has his ticket and he joins us from the Glen Island Country Club in New Rochelle. Jonathan?
Just last month, this was still the state's first COVID-19 testing site. But now thousands are gathering to celebrate the best that Westchester has to offer and truly mark how far we've really come out of this pandemic. In one of the first major events since the pandemic began, nearly 2,000 people are gathering for Westchester Magazine's Best of Westchester party, celebrating everything the county has to offer.
To have all these businesses that have made it through the last year and a half, and it's really a celebration of them.
Among those enjoying a return to pre-pandemic life is Lulu Cake Boutique in Scarsdale.
The past year, every business did suffer, and it's good to be back and see every business excited to jump right back in.
This is expected to boost the local economy by connecting people with the county's best places to eat and shop.
I'm hopeful that people will re-engage and come out to these restaurants and businesses and really help the businesses grow and get back on track.
And even as the Delta variant spreads, organizers are confident every health measure will keep people healthy. Vaccines are mandatory, vendors are spread out, and plenty of hand sanitizer is available.
It's our first event in a year and a half, so we just want everyone to be safe.
It looks like a good time had by all. So, Jonathan, did we win any awards?
Yeah, News 12 did pretty well. If you include last year as well, particularly when there was not an in-person event, 4 total. We got 2 for Best Local TV Programming. Last year, Lisa Salvadorini took Best Local TV Personality, and this year it went to our very own Tara Rosenblum. Congrats to them, and of course, back to you.
That is so exciting.
Yeah.
Where are they? Awards, food, the whole thing. Oh my goodness.
Exactly.
I wonder if they're going to share.
I know, it looks like a great event, man.
That looks like an excellent event. We'll have to find out from Jonathan where the leftovers are.
Exactly. That's where he is right now. All right, coming up after the break, we got an update on a looming price hike for Metro North riders. Plus,
Vernon, an example of why every vote counts. That story is straight ahead.
all right, thanks, Ty. And storms gone for now, but how much rain will return this weekend? Details when we come back.